You know, we've all heard it. Heck, we've probably all said it. Oh, don't worry, it's a safe drug. It's this little phrase we use to make ourselves and other people feel better. But what if that whole idea is a myth? Today, we're going to pull that phrase apart and really see what's going on inside.
All right, so let's just get right to the heart of it. The big question right up front. Is a truly safe drug even possible? Seriously, think about that. The answer is what this whole explainer is about, and I'm telling you, it might just change the way you look at medicine forever.
Okay, so first up, we're going to dive into what we can call the safe drug paradox. We're going to look at why that phrase, which sounds so comforting, might actually be a total contradiction in terms.
You know what an oxymoron is, right? Things like jumbo shrimp or deafening silence. Well, the sources we're digging into today ask a pretty blunt question. Is the phrase safe drug just another oxymoron? Are they two words that just can't logically exist together? Let's find out why that might actually be true.
So to really get our heads around this paradox, we have to go back to basics. We need to rethink how drugs even work, specifically how we separate the idea of effects from side effects, because as you're about to see, there's a whole other way to look at it.
And really, the most important point is right here, in the basic definition. A drug, by its very nature, has to change how your body functions. It has to alter your physiology. I mean, if it didn't do anything, it wouldn't have any effect at all, right? It wouldn't be a drug. It would just be, well, nothing.
And this quote just nails it. Think about it. If a substance is powerful enough to make a good change happen in your body, it's automatically powerful enough to make other changes happen too. You just can't get the one without the potential for the other. They're two sides of the same coin.
And this is where we really have to shift our thinking. You see, we tend to put things in two separate boxes. The intended action, the good stuff, and the side effects, the bad stuff, which we kind of see as these weird random accidents. But what if that's wrong? What if we see them both as just extensions of the action, as totally logical consequences of what the drug was designed to do in the first place?
Okay, let's make this super clear with an example. Say you have a drug to lower your blood pressure. Great. But what happens if it works a little too well? Your pressure drops too low, and suddenly your organs aren't getting what they need. See? That so-called side effect isn't some random fluke, it's the main effect, just pushed too far.
Or how about this one? You take a drug to suppress inflammation for, say, arthritis, but inflammation is also a key part of your immune system. So if you suppress it too much, you might actually weaken your body's ability to fight off other things. It's a direct trade-off, plain and simple.
And let's do one more. A drug changes your brain chemistry to help with your mood, but guess what? Those exact same chemicals are also involved in your sleep, your appetite, your focus. You just can't tweak one little thread in that complicated web without sending ripples through the whole system. It is all connected. Okay, so we've established that chemical drugs always have consequences. But here's a twist. What if the intervention isn't a chemical at all? It turns out we might need to broaden our definition of medicine to include the most powerful pharmacy on the planet, the one that's right between your ears.
I'm sure you've heard of the placebo effect, right? It's that wild phenomenon where a simple sugar pill can cause real, measurable healing just because someone believes it will. It's incredible, but it has a dark twin. It's called the nocebo effect. And that's where a negative belief, a negative expectation, can actually cause real physical harm.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. It's such a powerful idea. It tells us that our biology doesn't just listen to molecules from a pill. It listens to our beliefs, our expectations, our fears. A doctor's words, the scary warnings on a drug label, those things aren't just words. They are active interventions that can act on our bodies just like a chemical.
And this is where things get really serious. Because this whole idea, the myth of the safe drug, it's not just some abstract philosophical thing to talk about. It has a real, tangible human cost when we get too comfortable, too complacent.
Just look at this number. Tens of thousands. That's the estimated number of people in the US who die every single year from adverse drug reactions. And listen, we are not talking about overdoses or someone making a mistake. We're talking about people taking their medication exactly as the doctor prescribed. That is a staggering, sobering number. And it's so important to remember this. These are not just statistics on a page. Behind every single one of those numbers is a person, a family, a life. Someone who trusted the system, who did everything right, and still paid an awful price. That's the hidden cost of believing that any powerful intervention can be 100% safe.
Now let me be crystal clear about something. This is absolutely not an argument against medicine. Modern medicine is a miracle. Full stop. This is an argument against complacency. It's a warning against that casual, easy assumption that any drug, any intervention, comes without risk.
Okay, so if complacency is the danger, then what's the answer? Well, we need to shift gears. We need to start thinking about treatment in a more empowering way, one that's built on that old wisdom that sometimes less is actually more.
And it starts with asking this one simple but fundamental question. Do we always need the drug? In our culture that's so focused on a quick fix for everything, do we sometimes jump to a prescription when maybe, just maybe, there's a better path?
Because the truth is, there are so many powerful alternatives out there. Sometimes the most powerful medicine is just time, just letting the body do its amazing work and heal itself. Sometimes it's about correcting our lifestyle. It can even be something as simple as reassurance from a doctor you trust, or just waiting and watching. Don't underestimate these. They are all incredibly potent interventions.
And this quote just sums up the whole philosophy perfectly. Real wisdom in medicine isn't about having a giant toolbox and knowing which drug to pull out for every problem. It's about having the insight, the judgment, to know when the best prescription is no prescription at all. All right, so as we start to bring this all together, what's the big takeaway? It's really about building a whole new relationship with medicine. It's about moving past either blind trust on one side or irrational fear on the other and moving toward a place of genuine, informed respect.
And this is really the call to action here. It's a call to respect the incredible power these substances have, their power to heal, but also their power to harm. It's about respecting their limits and understanding they can't fix everything. And maybe most importantly, respecting that deep truth that no intervention, not a pill, not a word, not even a belief, is ever neutral.
And I want to leave you with this final thought. That word, safe, it isn't some permanent sticker you can slap on a bottle. It's always relative. It's always contextual. It depends on the person, the dose, the situation, this exact moment in time. And you know what? Understanding that doesn't have to make medicine scary. It just makes us smarter. It makes us more involved in our own health. And ultimately, that's what makes us truly safer.